This video is going to be different from the typical review videos I've done before because this time it's personal. I need a street bike. That is really tempting for me right now. However, I'm struggling with the decision a little bit right now because I already gave in to a temptation back in October. Let me talk about that a little bit later in the video. But first, let's talk about the Triumph Trident 660 and whether it fits the bill for the best middleweight street bike, because that's what I'm looking for. I've always been a fan of fully fared sport bikes, and Aprilia RS660 was my first choice. You can watch a video on the channel to find out what went wrong with that. But lately, the cafe racer and roadster style motorcycles have been catching my attention, and I did get excited about the 2020 Honda CB650 as well. In fact, I do like the SV650 cafe racer too. But Triumph has really hit it out of the park when it comes to getting the neo-retro look right. Sure, some owners have called it out for some cheap looking foot pegs, an awkward swing arm mounted license plate, and some bolts that don't match the color scheme, but those are pretty easily fixable nitpicks. But here's the struggle. That main is me right now. I got a ZX6R in October 2019 that was supposed to be my street bike, and it was for a while. But guess what happened? I naively took it for a track day thinking, let me try this track day thing just this one time, and this happened. I got hooked, and in October 2020, the bike was fully track set up. So here I am, looking for a bike to ride the streets. Because I miss the ability to just pick up the motorcycle and go for a ride to a random place or one of the several picturesque locations in Florida. And my expectation from street riding has changed a little bit because I don't need to be a speed demon on the streets anymore, because I can do that at the track, and that's a much safer and fun place to do that in. I need something that's a little bit more street friendly. Wait, that's not what I meant. That had a completely different purpose, which will be another video. I mean, the Grom is a lot of fun, but that's not something I'd ride on the highway. And that's where the Trident comes in. The Trident is being marketed as a fun, streetable bike with just the right amount of power for new as well as intermediate riders. I think only a test ride would reveal what it's actually made of, but going by the reviews, Trident's liquid-cooled inline 3-cylinder engine that makes 80 horsepower and 47 foot-pounds of torque is quite torquey. That would make it capable of easy and fun wheelies and reasonably satisfying speed pulls on the highway. But I'm not planning to do any of that in case Florida Highway Patrol is listening. I was kidding, FHP. In fact, I'm a safe rider, and for safety the Trident has an assist slipper clutch, ABS, traction control, Michelin Road 5 tires, which would certainly reduce the chances of losing control in panic situations on the streets, which are generally more unpredictable than a racetrack. But one thing I would like on my street bike is comfort, much like the Grom. And comfort would mean a plush seat, comfortable handlebars, low slung foot pegs, lightweight chassis, good suspension, and some wind protection. And looks like the Triumph has most of that. The bits that I don't think it's got is an adjustable suspension and some decent wind protection, because well, it's a naked. I do hear that the Shure suspension on the Trident, even though it's non-adjustable, seems to work great for riders of a wide range of weights. And that actually might be true because over the past 14 years I've ridden a Polestar 150, a CBR 250R, a CBR 650F, and a ZX6R, and except the ZX, none of the bikes had adjustable suspension and they worked just fine. So I'm willing to believe that Triumph could get it right as well. Oh, and this Grom is actually the only bike that I've ridden that has pogo sticks for a suspension. I need to figure out a way to fix that somehow. The feature that I really like about the Trident is the My Triumph connectivity module that can connect the phone, music, navigation, and even a GoPro to the controls on the handlebar and display on the TFT dash. That's a really neat feature, especially for moto vlogging. I guess I'd start doing that if I could get more subscribers to watch and like my videos. Are you listening? More subscribers? Anyway, so if I really go by all the information about the Trident that I've gathered by reading articles for hours and hours and watching all the reviews that exist on YouTube, the Trident seems to be the perfect bike for me, or even a newer rider. So let me see how much of a hole in the pocket are we talking, especially because it's going to be my second bike, not counting the Grom of course. At $8,195 in the US, it's the cheapest Triumph, but there are some optional extras that I would really like to add. With a Union Jack color scheme, the My Triumph phone and GoPro connectivity module, the bar and mirrors, a USB charger, engine cover, frame sliders, fork protectors, and a tank pad, I'm at $9,254 plus taxes and dealer fees. I think I can make that work, but I have a bunch of questions that I think can only be answered at a dealership. Number one question is, do they have a demo bike available for a test ride? Because I'm not spending $9,000 without sampling what it rides like. Question number two is availability of the bikes. Do they have them on the floor, or are they taking deposits? If yes, what's the wait time? And by the way, if you have questions about the Trident, the Grom, the ZX6R, leave them in the comments and I will try to answer them next week. Until then, you can watch my ZX6R track day video, the Aprilia video, or the R7 comparison videos. This is Faraz, one step closer to finding my next speed bike.